What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin scores an awesome left hook KO in round 4. You know, I would say Gennady Golovkin is back, but he never went anywhere. He just had two tough fights with Canelo Alvarez, which a lot of people would argue that he won. And it was a good fight to come back, an undefeated fighter, Canadian fighter Steve Rolls. Speaking of Steve Willis, or Stevie Willis, was the referee, and you got to love that guy. If you haven't seen him referee, look at the fight. He's like the greatest fan referee ever. The facial expressions, he's he's like, yeah. Somebody gets hit, he's like, his facial expressions are classic, So I'm going to do a little recap on this fight, let you guys know what I felt about it from 1 to 4. Rounds 1, kind of fill out round. Gennady Golovkin, obviously learning or exercising what he's learned, moving side to side with his head, and it was a fill out round. I would definitely give it to Gennady Golovkin with his jab. Round 2, Steve Rolls started to come on. He started countering the jab of Gennady Golovkin, and it was very effective. And coming from a fighter that doesn't throw a lot of jabs like Steve Rolls didn't, he was able to dip to the left and throw a right, which it caught Gennady Golovkin flush. And then he showed why he's known for his body punching. So he was throwing his own body punching, and I noticed by the end of that round, Gennady Golovkin was waiting for those body shots, just like similar he was doing for Canelo. So body punches do affect him, okay? And I'd give that second round to Rolls. Rounds 3, Gennady Golovkin started coming on. He was still getting hit a lot, still getting countered with that right over the jab of Golovkin. And I noticed Golovkin has to learn with his trainer to move his head. He has to anticipate the jab. He has to anticipate the counter, okay, from his jab. And I noticed he wasn't doing that. And round 3 still, Gennady Golovkin got in more work. I think he outworked Steve Rolls in the third round. Round 4, Golovkin really started to bring it on. And he started working the body. And what Golovkin's really good at, if a guy that's using the Floyd Patterson peekaboo guard, he had his guard up like that, kind of like a rabbit, like Golovkin had to throw around that left hook. And he's real good at angling those left hooks and landed it in a weird angle like he did Marco Antonio Rubio. I know they mentioned that. He did that a lot with Canelo. He would hit him on top, so he would throw it downward. And it's quite impressive how he's perfected that punch. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like a overhand left hook, but it's coming down at your temple area, like up here. And sometimes it catches you here, and that's like a pressure point area. You can ask Anthony Joshua about that. He got caught with that same punch. But Golovkin throws it like on the top of the head almost. So, that caught Steve Willis and buckled him. Then followed with a right. He came across with a right, and then was kind of like back here, and which really knocked his equilibrium out. And then out of nowhere, he crashed in with the left hook, dropping Steve Rolls. He couldn't beat the count, and there it was. I want to add to this fight about Golovkin. Golovkin looked okay. He just had a game opponent. I think he got hit a bit too much, though, honestly, because with what he learned, he's supposed to learn more on defense. And something that really helps Gennady Golovkin? He's just a tough son of a bitch. Because a lot of those counters that, he got hit with, he took them flush. Not saying that Steve Rolls is a knockout puncher. I'm not saying that, but like, how many times have you seen Golovkin hurt? You know what I mean? He's a tough guy. That's one thing that will always be in his advantage. He's a tough son of a bitch. If you hit him, you hurt him. The only thing I see, he gets hurt, but he handles pain in a different way than other fighters. You don't see him kind of buckle anything like that. He might get knocked off balance. And a lot of people think and misconstrue that as him being buckled, but that's not the same thing, you know. But Golovkin is a beast, you know what I mean? And he will whoop any regular caliber fighter. You know what I'm saying? So this was expected. I'm glad he's back in the mix, you know, and it was a fantastic knockout, you know. So my hat goes off to Gennady Golovkin. I think he should, though, look for tougher competition, especially at his age. He doesn't have time to mess around, especially when he can still fight. You know, I said the same thing about him. I said about Manny Pacquiao. You know, these guys need to fight when they can still fight at the elite level. So let's do it. Let's see what you got when you can do it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Gennady Golovkin knocking out Steve Rolls, round 4. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.